Welcome back to Feather Stitches Podcast. It is June 1st today. It's my daughter's birthday, and I'm home from work early today. I'm using some flex time. I wanted to finish getting ready for her birthday, and I just thought, let's post an episode because it has been 9 months. I can't believe it's been that long. But I've missed everybody, and I hope there's still some people around interested to see what I've been up to. I don't know. I don't even know if YouTube even has my account anymore. We shall see. But I'm back, and I was really inspired by Bobby Lee of Inspired Knitting podcast. If you haven't seen her podcast, please go check her out. Hi, Bobby. She just has been inspiring me to throw myself out there, get another episode up and out, even if I'm doing it by myself. And yeah, she's just awesome, and she's been inspiring me to do one, hence the name of her podcast, Inspired Knitting. So I just thought, let's just jump on. There has been a lot of knitting since the last time I podcasted, obviously. I went through a little bit of a stint there where I wasn't knitting as much, but the bug has bitten me over the last few months, and I've been knitting up a storm. So I thought I would show you what I have and just jump in. So I'll show you a few of my finished projects that I have done. The last time I had podcasted, I had shown you guys my Chunky Dahlia by Lenit, Lenit. Oh, I have a phone call, which I'll ignore. Anyways, here it is. I was thinking of wearing it for the podcast today, but it's just too hot to put this chunky, beautiful sweater on. But here it is. It's all done. It had a folded rim collar, a folded over collar, which I absolutely love and want to do this on more sweaters. It's super stretchy, which I love. It doesn't feel like it's choking you at all. I've worn this quite a few times. I get lots of comments on this sweater. I absolutely love it. I used Estelle Chunky that I had purchased from Willow and Wool, and this knits up super fast because you use large size needles, and I love it. So there it is. You do a tubular bind off for the hem and for the cuffs as well. And yeah, I absolutely loved this sweater, Chunky Dahlia. I had first seen this on Penrose Knits podcast. She was wearing it and fell in love with it and had to make my own. So there is that. I did knit another sweater, a baby sweater, for my sister-in-law. She's expecting her first baby due in September. We are so excited. And I had some extra yarn. I had about 1.5 skeins of yarn left that had called for. So I was able to get a leaf sweater. The leaf sweater is by The Knit Stitch. I'm going to try to remember to post a picture of it here. Let's see if I can edit this properly. But yeah, it was a huge hit. I knit the 0 to 3 months. I really want to knit another one. It knit up so fast. It was so addicting because you're reading a lace chart and you just want to keep going and you don't want to put it down. And of course it's a baby sweater, so it knits up super fast. So I gave that to her at her baby shower a few weeks ago. She had it, and I thought it's a perfect color. It's neutral. It could be for a boy or a girl. And she's kind of having a jungle themed nursery. So I just thought with the leaves, that would be perfect. So yeah, she really enjoyed getting that sweater. And I already have gotten 2 more skeins of yarn from Willow and Wool to make another one. Whether or not it'll go to her baby or just to have it as a gift, because excellent pattern. Highly recommend it. And I kind of want to make one now for myself. Maybe I will. So that's that one. There's a big truck in my alleyway. I'm not sure if it's too loud. I hope it's not interfering with the sound here, but we shall see. My next finished project, which wasn't on the last podcast. I casted this on right after Christmas, and I knit up the Snuggle is Real cowl by Max the Knitter. So where's the camera? It's a really cool slip stitch design, and you do a folded over brim, and then you line it with mohair. I had some a skein of Surrey mohair, or Surrey alpaca, but I ran out. So then what I did was I just held together, I had some leftover mohair, so I added this purple color in. Now I haven't done the I-cord string. You do make some holes to have a drawstring in here, but it calls for 8 strands held together of mohair, and I just don't think I can be bothered to make up 8 strands of mohair. So what I might do is just grab a string from an old hoodie. Like, I have some purple hoodies, or if I can't find the right color, maybe just going to a thrift store and finding a child hoodie, and then using the drawstring from that and maybe putting it into here. I'd love if I could find like a pale purple or a hot pink, and then just use that as the drawstring instead of making I think it's 55 or 58 inches of I-cord that you need to make for this. And I just feel like I can't be bothered. So we'll see, but I'm excited to wear this in the winter. I finished it in the spring, so I haven't even worn this yet, but it's ready to go when the temperatures drop, which I hope isn't for a long, long time. We've had a cool spring here in Airdrie, Calgary area. It's been pretty cool. So I'm just itching for some nice, hot summer weather would be nice. But anyways, so there's that. In the theme of winter wear, I knit up an Aurora headband. This is by Pippin Pin. And the yarn is Polka Dot Creek. It's one for tweed colors. I'm not sure if it's her newsprint or her natural tweed, but I got this from Polka Dot Creek, the yarn. This was a really fun knit, super easy. It's DK weight yarn. I would model it, but I'll just mess up my hair, but you get the gist. It's nice and thick. It'll be warm for the winter to keep my ears warm. I have worn this a couple times because I finished this back in January or February, I would say. So I have given this some love and have worn this. But yeah, another pattern I highly recommend, the Aurora headband by Pippin Pin. What else? As I said, today's my daughter's birthday, and as I was preparing for this podcast, I realized I have another birthday present that I need to wrap up, and that is because I knit this a while ago. On the last podcast, I showed this is the super simple summer crop, I think, by Jessie Made Designs, and we had been in Banff last year, and we stopped in Canmore, and she had picked out this yarn. I have one skein left. This is the Barocco Lindsay DK yarn, and I used 2 skeins of it and these are 50-gram skeins, and I still had this much left over. So I knit this up for her. I'm gonna surprise her with this today with her birthday presents. She'll be very excited. I haven't blocked it yet though. I wish I'd remembered to have blocked it, but I don't think she will mind. It'll be super cute on her. I have plans to make another one of these as well. I did get some yarn. I don't have it with me, but I did get some yarn for my birthday from my friend who'd gone to San Francisco, and it's a sport weight, and I think I might make another one of these using that because it's just super fun. I love this. I think it's a 6-stitch I-cord strap that you make, and then here's the back. You have the option to do crisscross or straight back. I like this version. I find crisscross can be a pain to wear, so I'm excited to see her wear this. Maybe I can get her to model it and I could add some pictures of this at the end. But yeah, that's a super simple summer crop by Jessie Made Designs. What else? On the last podcast, I had shown that I was almost done this pair of socks and has since been finished. I had some leftover sock yarn that I had used to make some socks for my mother-in-law. I can't even remember the yarn, but I had nearly, I think I had 40 grams left. So I just did an extra long toe, and of course the contrast for the heel. And my mom is trying to claim these. She saw these in my spare room where I've been just stashing these until I could show them on the podcast. She wants them, so we'll see. I do really love these socks. So I'm not sure yet if I'm going to give them to her or keep them for myself. She's going to watch this and she'll be asking me for them. I just know it. But yeah, just a vanilla sock pattern. Like I said, extra toe. I do 64 stitches, fish lips, kiss, heel, and then I think I did 17 rows. I find for shorty socks, once I do my fish lips, kiss, heel, I like 17 rows on the leg of the sock and then 15 rows of ribbing for, to me, the perfect shorty socks. I kind of was comparing them to like a Costco sock, like the Puma Costco socks, and that's my go-to recipe. So there's those ones. My dear friend Joy, she sent me some birthday sock yarn. I'm trying to see. She sent me 2 skeins of birthday sock yarn for my birthday, and she also ordered the same colors. So this skein is called Never Trust a Toadstool by Rose Hill Yarns. These are 50 gram minis with a 50 gram skeins with a mini. So she sent me 2 skeins. So we're going to be casting on some socks soon with this. But with the other set of yarn, she sent me the Chickadee colorway from Rose Hill Yarns. And we made these beautiful Flora socks by Joji Locatelli. And I just love the lace work. Goes down the front. I had gotten COVID in April over my birthday. I came down with COVID on April 13th and my birthday was April 15th. So I was stuck in my room. I had lots of knitting time, and these will remind me of my birthday, my COVID birthday. It was the 3rd year in a row I've been locked in the house for COVID, and my birthday, 2020, of course, the world locked down in April, so we couldn't even have anybody over. 2021, same thing, no one over. We were stuck in our house for my birthday. And then, of course, this year, I was in isolation because I had COVID. So 3 years in a row, I've had fairly crummy birthdays, to be honest, but the hubby, the kids, and of course my friends, they all made my birthday extra special in such a unique way. But yeah, Joy also has made a pair of socks using this yarn. I found that these were extremely tight to put on, and one is actually smaller than the other. I had used a 2.25 millimeter needle as the pattern called for, and I could hardly get the sock on. So I soaked it in water, stretched it onto my foot, and then put it onto my blockers and dried it overnight. And I was able to fit the sock on. So with the second sock, I did a 2.5 millimeter needle the whole way through, and it is still quite tight to get on, but I can get them on. So I don't know if it's just because it goes straight from ribbing into lace work, if it makes it just a little bit extra snug around the heel, like the cuff part. I don't know, but I did struggle with this. I'm not sure if there was something I was doing wrong, but I'm pretty sure I followed the pattern as is. But they're just stunning. My daughter says these are the prettiest socks I've ever made, and she loves this colorway. So yeah, that's the Chickadee yarn by Rose Hill and the Flora's socks by Joji Locatelli. That's another finished one. I ordered some sock yarn. It was sock yarn that I got from Willow and Wool. I thought it was an Advent sock yarn when I purchased it, but It was already wrapped up, and so I waited till December 1st to think it was an Advent sock yarn where it's a different color stripe, but it wasn't, which is totally fine. But I ordered this yarn from Willow and Wool. It was her Christmas 2021 colorway, Comfy Cozy Knits. I hope that's the right yarn dyer, but I made shorty socks with this. I still have a full half a skein left, so I'm gonna make another shorty pair of socks next Christmas when it's all Christmas themed, and gift another pair to some lucky person. I don't know, but yeah, again, the same thing where I do 17 rows after I do the Fish Lips Kiss Heel, 15 rows of ribbing. It seems to be my go-to now for shorties. So there is another finished object. I feel like I'm kind of flying through this, but I'm very rusty, everybody. I'm very rusty, but I'm sure excited just to get a podcast out. Yeah, this is how much I have left over. So I have tons. Could easily make another pair of shorty socks for sure. I didn't write down this pattern. This is another finished object. It's just it's been 9 months, everybody. There's been lots of knitting. I had started this hat, I don't know, probably like 4 years ago. And I love the look of cables, but I know this about myself now that I don't like necessarily knitting cables. But I love how it has a star at the top. I need to remember the name of this pattern. Twisted Cables, or I'm sorry, I can't remember. If I remember, I will try and write the pattern in the show notes below. It was a free pattern on Ravelry. I had originally seen this knit up by another podcaster and download the pattern. I don't even remember which yarn this is, to be honest. So I think this is a Knit Picks yarn, a worsted weight yarn from Knit Picks, I believe is what this is. But it was so worth the effort once it was done. I'm going to really enjoy wearing this in the wintertime. I haven't worn it yet. I haven't even blocked it. I'm going to add a pom-pom to the top of it. I'm sorry I can't remember the name of it. I will try to find that out. But super stretchy. It'll fit me good. I have a big noggin. I always into knit in larger size hats, but this is nice and stretchy, super soft. And I'm glad I finally got this done. Another hat that I had knit up during my time of COVID, it was another cast on during my COVID days, was the Parkview hat by Tracy Miller. I had half a skein of fingering weight yarn from, I can't remember. I knit a pair of socks with it. It was probably on my last podcast. I had half a skein left from socks I knit last June. And I held it with some Surrey alpaca yarn, just a neutral color that I had purchased from Willow and Wool. Love this. It's nice and stretchy. Again, I'm going to add a pom-pom on here. Probably a white one, maybe a cream colored one. That's it on the top. It's always so cool seeing the tops of hats. So yeah, this will be super cozy. Highly recommend the Parkview hat by Tracy Miller. It's super simple to follow the pattern. Great mindless knit, especially if you're sick with COVID. And there will be more of these hats for sure. I actually bought a bunch of Surrey from Willow and Wool when they're closing out. I'm heartbroken. Willow and Wool is shutting down, my local yarn shop. So sad. I think they close sometime in June, a couple more days, then they're closed. It's so sad, but anyways. Show them some love, maybe send them some messages if you watch this podcast before, I think they're closing like the second week of June maybe, so send them some love, but they do have some sales going on right now, and I bought a bunch of extra Surrey to make more of these, because it's perfect to use with your half skeins. Like I could probably knit a Christmas Parkview up. That'd be really cute too, so maybe I will. So there's that. I think that's all for my finished objects. I have been knitting a lot or crocheting a lot on my cozy memory blanket. I think I'll show that to you guys the next time. I didn't bring it up here with me. But yeah, during January, February, that was all I wanted to work on. So I got a ton done on that. Well, I shouldn't say a ton. It's a lot of crocheting. I spent a ton of time doing it, but of course it only gives you like, I don't know, maybe I got a foot of crochet done on that blanket, but I put it away for now, and I definitely will be bringing it out probably in the cooler months. I'll show that to you guys on my next podcast. So I can show you a few works in progress that I have going. The first one I'll show you is in this adorable project bag from Sweet Comfort Designs, who's also Bobby of Inspired Knitting Podcast. I had won a giveaway on her podcast and for a skein of yarn, but then she spoiled me and sent me a parcel. This is a skein of yarn that I had won by Interrupted Wool. Had a stitch marker on it, but I think it's fallen in my bag. And she sent me some soak, a very sweet message, which I love the paper she sent it on. Things to do before I can knit. Is that what it says? Yeah. And a sweet little message. And then some yummy Werther's Originals, which she must know from previous podcasts, there's usually snacks hidden away in my project bags. So I'm actually going to throw this into it right now. While I was sick with COVID, another project I casted on was the Musselburgh hat by Isolde. I'm not sure the last name. I just have Isolde on the pattern. But I have been cruising along and I have stalled on it now, but just because I've had castonitis for some other things. But essentially with the Musselburgh hat, I don't have a picture of it on me. Can I find it? Let's see on my Ravelry. Here. The Musselburgh by Isolde. So essentially what you do is you cast on down here, knit a huge tube, and then it's going to fold inside of itself, and it will be a double layered hat. So I am using Leo and Roxy, their Tough Sock, or I don't know. I'm sure many of you have seen this colorway from Leo and Roxy. I bought a set. It was a sock set. But I just thought this would make an awesome Musselburgh. A lot of my kids and their friends, they have this kind of color hat. It's kind of a trend. So I thought, hey, I have a perfect yarn to knit this with. So I casted this on. It's been housed in my van right now. While I'm driving around, I can pick it up and knit it, but it's in the house now. So maybe I should just finish it up. You knit this until I think you have about 13 or 17 grams of yarn left, and then you do your decreases. So I am getting pretty close. So I should really just work on this and get this done. But don't we always say things like that to finish projects, and then we never do? But yeah, it's being housed in this bag. Check out Sweet Comfort Designs by Inspired Knitting. She has some sweet project bags. I'm not sure if she has any in her shop right now, but I'm a huge Baby Yoda fan. And when I saw this bag in the mail, it came in when I was sick, and it just brightened my day. So thank you, Bobby. So there's that whip. Another one that I've been working on, my friend Jocelyn. Hi, Jocelyn. Every year for the last, this is our 3rd year now, we have been getting, oh, another phone call. Declined. We have been knitting birthday socks, and this year, she's been so busy. She's been doing nursing school and working, and she's a mom. Like, she's just a superwoman. But she still wanted to go ahead and do birthday socks this year. So we went to Willow and Wool and picked up some Hedgehog Fibers yarn. This colorway is called Macaroon. I'm obsessed. I absolutely love this colorway. So we bought one skein and then we split it into two. So we each have 50 grams, and then we just found coordinating minis. I'm not sure the name of this mini, but I had purchased it from the Wool Baron. Probably at one of the yarn shows. Knitting with this, I'm obsessed with it. I love the navy and the purple and the hot pink. It's the coolest color ever. And I thought it would match up perfectly. So here is my sock. I have one done. I'm nearly halfway through the second one. But I just love this variegated color. I did 3x1 rib for this sock, fish lips, kiss heel, 17 rows of leg, 15 of cuff. And this is how far I am on my second one. Just casted this on, I don't know, a few days ago. So it's cruising. It's getting there. Jocelyn has already finished one, and she's nearly done her second sock. She's cruising as well. So these will be perfect for summer, on those cooler days when you want to wear a sock. So yeah, really loving these socks. I want to get them done hopefully by the end of next week. I'd like to get this sock done and then cast on another pair of socks for when I'm going on holidays. I mean, we're doing a family trip. So I would like to get another pair of socks from the needles, maybe the ones that Joy and I are going to do. So there is that. I'd shown you guys my ranunculus, which, by the way, this is a Poppy Cod, a bag by Poppy Cod. She's on Etsy. Most amazing bags as well. I love this. It has the canvas bottom. I like these handles that are on the bag, drawstring. There's pockets inside. Highly recommend getting yourself a Poppy Cod bag. Anyways, I had showed you guys my ranunculus, and I cruised on this, but I have gotten stuck on sleeves now. So here's my ranunculus. This is using Wool Baron yarn, her Surrey, as well as her fingering weight yarn. I'm using fingering weight held with Surrey. And then there's the body. Of course, it's not blocked. It's kind of flaring a little bit, but I think it's going to block out straight, hopefully. And now I have to do the sleeves. And the only reason I always have a hard time, not hard time, it's just the motivation. I lack motivation to pick up my sleeves every time. What is this? Breach? I have no idea where this pin came from. It's in my bag. That's funny. But I always lack motivation picking up my sleeves. And another thing I'm running into is this is all I have left for yarn, and I'm not sure if it'll do two full-length sleeves. I wish I knew how to do two at a time. Yeah, I wish I knew how to do two at a time, so I could just knit, knit, knit until they're done. But I probably could figure it out, but I just don't have the brain space to do it. So I need to pick up the sleeves, finish it, but these are the colors. It's just been fun adding this brighter mohair with this more neutral gray, greeny blue color. It's like a seafoam color to get this. I'm loving it. I think it's going to block out really nice. It'll be a good fit, I think. It's one size. And I did the smaller neckline on here. I am a tight knitter, so it'll fit, but it's just not going to be oversized as in the picture, which is fine by me. It'll be cozier being more of a snugger fit, but I already have plans to make another one of these. I just need to finish this. So yeah, that is the ranunculus. Another work in progress that I only started this a couple weeks ago, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks ago, But when Will and Wool announced that they were closing out, they of course had a big sale, and I ran to the store to pick up some sweater quantities of yarn. So I am knitting this sweater out of Woolstock Blue Sky Fibers, and the colorway is Storm Cloud that I'm using. And I did a gauge swatch. Look at me. I mean, it's not a full gauge. Yes, I know. But yeah, once I washed and dried it, it definitely grew. So it does bloom quite nicely. So I am working on the Weekender. And I have done a lot of it already. So yeah, this is the back side. You do a split hem. It calls for 2.5 inches on the back, but I did an extra inch on the back and on the front. I also added about an inch of length as well. It's more meant to be a cropped sweater. You do a tubular cast on, which Becky helped me. Hi, Becky. She's working on as well, as is her daughter. So the three of us are knitting a Weekender. I've done most of the sleeve. I just have to do 2 inches of cuff now, and then pick up the second sleeve. So my hope for this as well is to finish this by the end of next week. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm maybe going to finish this. Well, I guess we have birthday plans tonight, but today or tomorrow night I'm going to finish this cuff, pick up the second sleeve, and hopefully get a lot done on it over the weekend, and have a finished sweater. I bought a really pretty green sweater quantity as well with this wool stock, and I'm most likely going to do the Arboreal sweater by Jennifer Steingass. But I just need to get a contrast color. I need to find a store that sells the Woolfolk yarn. Ideally, I'd like a contrast with that. So I think Yarn Twisters down South Calgary, or there's a new yarn shop that opened in Calgary. The name of it is escaping me, but they're down in Marda Loop area. So I need to search that up too. I've heard that they might carry the worsted weight yarn. And then get another sweater on the needles. But this Weekender by Andrew Mowry has just been so much fun to knit. Knits up super fast. Have to weave in these ends, but yeah. And this Woolfolk yarn, each skein is 150 grams, which I love because you don't have to keep weaving in ends. Like you can get so much knit. This, from the top down to here, was one whole skein of yarn. So like you just can't go wrong with that. I'm on the second skein. No, I'm on the third skein of yarn right now. And I still have this much left to do the ribbing of the cuff and a whole other sleeve. So I bought 4 skeins of yarn to do the sweater, but I'm going to have a whole skein of this left over. So I love it. Highly recommend this yarn. Highly recommend this yarn. And yeah, I can show you a picture. I have this pattern on me. There it is. Loving it. I think that's about it. That's it for works in progress and my knitting. Life has been busy. We had our foster daughter, she graduated last Thursday, and I went to my niece's graduation on Saturday afternoon, and then Jackie had her banquet Saturday night, and then we went back to Brianne's house for a grad party, and then, yeah, it's just hard to believe these kids are graduating now. School's almost done. Katie will be finishing grade 11. She's writing 2 diplomas this month. So next year, she's only have to do 2 courses and she will be graduated. She's done amazing. And then Gracie will finish grade 8. She's going to have her graduation ceremony at the end of June. And Weston will be finishing grade 6, going into grade 7. Yeah, life has just been busy but good. My husband started a new job, and the transition to that has been going okay, and I'll be working out of town a little bit more, so I'll be juggling that, but I'm still busy working at the hospice and at the hospital. Yeah, I have one kid playing football, another one playing rugby. Oh, yeah, things are going good. Becky's doing well. She's super busy with all of her kids. Her life is so full she has 6 kids at home. So she's very busy with sports and kids as well. But I'm sure she would send her hello. Been doing a bit of reading. I've read a few really good books. I just finished a book called Mary Jane. If you like Daisy Jones and the Six, you might really like Mary Jane. It was a great book. I listened to that one on Audible. And I'm currently reading this book, which was recommended to me by Joy. So I'm working through it. I'm a third of the way through The Whispers. It's been really good. Really enjoying this one. The current audiobook that I'm listening to, I've been hooked on it, and I heard about it through We Share Needles podcast. You should check out their podcast if you haven't. They're fun to watch. I really like watching them. But they also do like a book segment. So they had talked about Big Lies in a Small Town by Diane Chamberlain. And I have been devouring this book. I started it on Monday, and I'm over halfway through, and today's Wednesday. So I've been cleaning and driving and listening to this audiobook. Highly recommend that. And then my son's best friend, Eli, his mom just published her very own book. So this is called Falling at First Light by Annalise Isaac. The book is about, it says on the back here, making a splash in society is not Lady Henrietta's goal in life. However, by 18, she is sopping wet and has caused enough social scandal in her home county to send all the gossips for their smelling salts. Her desires in life are at odds with the expectations placed on her by her position and gender. In desperation, she turns to a life of secrecy only to be found out by a duke with dark secrets of his own. Mischievous matchmaking may be Henrietta's only path to personal freedom. Will the setup of the 19th century secure her happiness, or will she be like a fish out of water and drown on dry land? So if you want to support my friend and purchase her book, you can find this on Amazon. And it's just so cool that she's always wanted to publish her own book. She finally did it. And the day it came out, she had messaged me that the book was on Amazon. I went and purchased my copy. I'm going to have her sign it. But yeah, it just came out last week. So I'm going to start this book soon. Just haven't had a chance to yet. But this might be a good vacation read for when we go to the mountains. So there's that. And as far as TV shows, I binge watch all of Downton Abbey, all 6 seasons in the movie, and then tomorrow night I'm going to go see the new movie, Downton Abbey, with my sister-in-law. So that'll be fun to check up on that movie. And, I just did so much knitting and TV binging with COVID. I was fine most of all. It was just like a really bad cold, but I just had to isolate because we had 4 kids in the house. My husband also had COVID. He got it before me and gave it to me. Sometimes sharing is not always caring. But he was fine with it as well. The worst part for him was a sore throat. The worst part for me was just lots of congestion, but we were fine. We did good with it. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'll wrap this up. I'll post some pictures at the end, hopefully. And to those who have stuck through this video, thank you so much for sticking around, for coming back to say hello. I really missed you guys. I still love the YouTube community and Instagram community. You can find me as @QuiltCrazy or Feather Stitches Podcast. Feel free to send me messages if you have any questions. But yeah, I'm going to try and keep throwing podcasts out every now and then. I would love to see it on a monthly schedule, but that's what I said last time, and look, we're 9 months later. But to everyone who's been loyal and has stuck around, thank you so much. And to Bobby Lee from Inspired Knitting, thank you for encouraging me and inspiring me to jump in again, even though I'm doing it alone. And of course to Jamie of Cozy Up Knits. She's always inspiring me as well. Throw another episode out there. So I did it. I've uploaded one. So we'll see when I can pop in again next time. But until then, happy knitting. Bye.